Hello everyone, welcome to Gossip with CD. So guys, let's talk about the Road Accident Fund. Well guys, this is Mr. Letsoalo, who is the CIO of RAF. This is the organization that is run by government, yes, you taxpayer, where if you are involved in a car accident of some sort, and you can go basically and claim damages to either your income or your future if you're losing income and stuff like that. But if you're just a person who's just a person, it'll also depend on what your lawyers will submit about your status as a human being. But from what I have heard, a lot of people get paid in millions of rands. One moment you have 0 rands in your bank account, and the next 1.2 million rand to about 50 million rand goes into your account, all because you had a car accident. And we've seen some people, or at least allegedly there are people who've tried to manipulate the system by getting themselves either in a fake accident or a real accident, but they were not sure about this whole thing. And somebody who wanted to rob them would tell them things, including some lawyers apparently and allegedly, who would rob these victims as long as they take them up as clients, which is actually very, very bad, because now the reason why Mr. Letsoalo has become so strong about RAF and paying out is because of these suspicious actions perpetuated mostly by some lawyers, including law firms. Now we are hearing even insurance companies that he mentions in the video that you are going to hear right now.
Chair, I'm sitting here. The chair has arrived here with her bodyguards. They've taken away my security. I flew alone. There were people that tried to kill me twice, and they know it, and that's why I've got security. Today, I'm for the taking, Chair. And they made sure. And for me, Chair, let me say this as I conclude.
Yeah, conclude.
I'm prepared to die, Chair, for the truth. I am prepared to die for taking on the likes of Discovery, the likes of Bonitas, the likes of Gertnel and Associate, the likes of any other person in the interest of South Africans. This 50 billion that we talk about was going into those hands. Today it's sitting in the hands of South Africans, and I'm proud of it. Anything that happens to me, Chair, I'm not a coward. I have never been brought up like that. And for me, it's fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
So in South Africa, it has come to this. This what it has come to. Now, I'm going to play you a video of the people he's accusing of doing this to him, or allegedly doing this to him. And we don't know the truth. We were not there. We don't know what's happening. But he is saying he's ready to die for the truth. Like some of us are already saying the same thing. Like, listen, oh, you can kill some of us, but not all of us. And you take one of us out, there'll be another one and another one and another one. And each person that replaces the other will be worse than the last. Basically, you are just going to be going around unaliving people that are telling the truth and standing with the truth, especially with the public funds not to be squandered. Guys, a person like that is a hero in my books. Mr. Letsoalo is my hero, is the hero of South Africa, and that is why I feel like he needs to be protected. Now, listen to this, guys. There was a portfolio committee meeting with this particular group of people, and listen to the discrepancies. Listen from the Deputy Minister of Transport, and then you listen to these guys, and you can tell that they're trying their level best to escape what they actually faced with them almost being called corrupt. Now, as a South African citizen watching this, you make your own conclusion. Are these people corrupt? And whose pockets are they in now that they want to get rid of a man who saved 50 billion rand of South Africa's taxes? South Africa's taxes, 50 billion. So now you're just going to have to put 2 and 2 together and see who's wrong. Is it Mr. Letsoalo? Or is it this group of people that are now in front of the portfolio committee? It's a lot, and one has to wonder, aren't they reading the room? Aren't they looking like, listen, things are no longer as they used to be where they could get away with stuff like this. There's a GNU. There's a GNU. The deputy minister comes from the IFP. Of course, he's not going to dilly-dally around them, and he's not going to ask them darling questions either. He's going to want to hold them accountable. Why? Because most of these guys are cadres of the former, why do I always say former? They are still the ruling party, but they have GNU partners. Again, who do we blame? I say we must blame ourselves, guys, with our vote. That is why we are here today. If you ever ask the question, how did we get here? You must remember the X you put next to that political party. That is why we are here today. And I'm not talking about the now in the GNU. We're talking about the usual suspects, the one that has been getting away with this for the past 31 years. So let me not waste too much of your time. Guys, listen to this stuff that happened in the portfolio committee meeting, where the members of parliament called them out on their lies and misleading parliament, and then link that with what Mr. Letsoalo is going through and make up your own mind. What do you think is going on here? Anyways, guys.
First set of questions, DM, if you could.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I think largely the questions are for the board, for the board to respond. Suffice it to say, Chairperson, that at that SCOPA meeting, we, for the purposes of clarity, the SIU has not briefed the ministry on its matters. And that meeting is scheduled to take place next week, Wednesday. And we will get an update on the part of the SIU.
Thanks, Chair. I think the Chair also answered a few questions around vacancies. I think I'll just pick those that I think needs more emphasis. I think the first one, Honorable Kubeka asks about the impact of the Discovery versus the RAF matter. It's a huge matter for the RAF, for the sustainability of the RAF, not only from a medical claims perspective, Honorable Kubeka, but because I think this is the judgment that affirmed that the RAF is not an insurer. So it's very significant in that manner. Although we have not quantified the specific claims that might ensue from Discovery specifically. This is bigger than Discovery, that there are also other medical aids that is the avalanche that will be opened around medical aid schemes that will also come and seek this reimbursement. So this is a huge judgment for the sustainability of the RAF going forward. So I think that context is important. Of course, one cannot really comment further around whether that then amounts to the victimization or whatever thereof around the firms that you have indicated in question. But it's a huge matter for the RAF. In terms of the Johannesburg building, indeed it's owned by Moana, as indicated there, which is essentially a GEPF owned building, and I think that's how the lease agreement was signed. It's with in that manner. I think that's clear. The other issues related to, I think there are other questions, I think, from Honorable Mabena that were also I think addressed by the chair. As we have indicated, there are only 3 in the main vacant positions at the EXCO level, and I think we must add that on the Chief Claims Officer, there was a real challenge in that space that resulted in the whole EXCO going into the regions to intervene to an extent that the CEO saw it fit to take full responsibility for that position because of the risks that emanated. It was a crisis that was there at the time because of the issues that had to be dealt with at the time, and I think it was always meant to be a temporary intervention because, as we have indicated, the position, there was a lot of work done to try and fill that position that which attempts failed. And of course, we can confirm that there is someone who's acting in that position at the moment.
Can you talk to her?
Yeah, I'll talk to it. Now, the other questions, I think, I think Honorable Kobe also speaks about the issues of the acting of the Chief Claims Officer. I think I've spoken to that. The CIO position and the vettings that is done. I think we have explained this issue around background screening that is done, which was also done even in this case. Reference checks were obtained even from the city of Johannesburg. So vetting is a more of a comprehensive process, of course, that takes place where we all subsequently submitted our vetting forms to the State Security Agency, which are still being processed even at this point in time. Now, of course, yeah, we don't brief Gert Nel, attorneys. I know Gert Nel is sitting behind your honorable self. He's a plaintiff attorney. Of course, he does plaintiff work, and he's one of the firms that get the. I think it's one of the top 2 firms. I think we presented in the past in terms of the payments that get dispersed from the fund, but not as a corporate member of the panel. Now, I think the questions around from Honorable Maduna around the issues of the Johannesburg lease, I think I'll ask the CFO to speak to that in terms of the specifics. I think, yeah, Bernice.
Apologies, Chair. If the acting CEO can complete his responses and inform the committee, because I just feel like transparency and divulging all information helps. What is the status of Mr. Mutiba at REF? Because you speak of background checks, can we please just say everything?
DM, thanks for that intervention. You are going to have to be helpful, and you are not going to have to expect your senior to intervene for you to answer questions. That's clear, right? Now, you can't be you know, you can't apply austerity measures to answers. You're going to have to be as open as it can be possible so that we do not have a lot of follow-ups in terms of questions. So where you have been asked a question, please, as the DM is saying, just flow and answer the questions as you understood it to be asked, not to want to be, you know, economic with answers. Sure.
No, thanks for the clarity. Like I said, I understood it to be about the security screening, but the subsequent events around the CIO is that has been placed on suspension as per the also resolution of the board. I think is currently on suspension.
With effect from?
With effect from yesterday.
Yeah, you see.
Listen,
Yeah.
you see, my apologies.
Yes.
I can we put things in their context? At a SCOPA meeting, SCOPA advised the board of REF and the executives that it was in receipt of a letter from the city of Johannesburg indicating that Mr. Modiba had resigned on the eve of the conclusion of a disciplinary process. But the information in the letter which came from Mr. Modiba's letters said other things. Now, I do not understand why we would want to skirt over that matter, because it's substantive to the issues which are giving this follow-up meeting. And Chair, I want to say this to yourselves. It's the last time I'm going to intervene. But I hope this gives you a glimpse of what we are dealing with. You can't be speaking about vetting in your response and place it as substantively as that, but don't add the latest developments in their context that you are in risk, unless the board went and did something different on the basis of that suspension.
Yeah.
So this is, colleagues, the extent to which the problems at REF are. So I'm asking, Chair, that they explain to you so that you don't come back now when something else arises with what's the status of this. Just put it out there. It's not a secret. It's an issue of governance. It's an issue of accountability.
No, DM, it's good that it is coming from yourself, that you are picking what is happening. Acting CEO, what you're doing is wrong. And it borders on being secretive to a committee of parliament. And I don't think we're taking that in kind. And I think it will be for the last time, not only to you, but also to your colleagues. We're not here to play. It's about just after 9 now. And we're not going to be sitting here listening to you, bluffing to us, telling us things not in context, when you actually know what is the context. I ask you, what is that context that you need to give because the DM has intervened? You still, even in the eyes of the DM, still want to hide other things. And I'm seeing Honorable Kobe still continuously raising a hand from there. I plead with you, please answer the question so that we don't have to take follow-ups. You still want to sweep certain things under the carpet. Why are you doing that? Don't answer that why. Just proceed and give answers.
Yeah, Chair, thanks. My apologies, Chair, if I may come across.
You are exhausting your daily limits of apologies.
Yeah, as I've indicated that in the matter of the CIO, indeed the board resolution was taken where and pronounced at the portfolio committee, and I think in the meeting yesterday I did indicate that that particular decision.
Pronounced to which portfolio?
I'm saying the last portfolio committee. I think the board, when the board presented, they indicated that one of the decisions that were taken was that of the suspension of the CIO, acting CIO. And I indicated again in the meeting that we had with the DM yesterday that I could not just, without applying my mind, because I needed to be the one that signs the suspension letter of the CIO. I needed to apply myself, and after having applied myself, I eventually signed the suspension letter of the CIO, acting CIO. So I think that is...
Hold it there. What do you mean? You want to tell me that what you are saying is that the board pronounced suspension to us when you have not signed the letter? Is that what you are saying?
Correct.
DM?
Chairperson, I would want to believe that the governance shortfalls in RAF are coming to bear, because the issue around the CIO has been a subject of discussion in those COPA meetings. And then my understanding, and the board is here, was they received a response from the city of Johannesburg on this matter. And as I said, we had a meeting yesterday. And up until yesterday, a board decision had not been implemented that the board had pronounced on, insofar as this individual is concerned. So I think, Chair, it is for the board to give you the sequence of events around it. But I would imagine that it's central to accounting to the committee, unless maybe but we are here because there's a suspension that is a subject of discussion. Following that, there's another suspension of the Chief Investment Officer. I would imagine that any response is supposed to be very frank and forthright about that. So that is, if ultimately, Chair, just my misgiving. Can I ask the board?
I want to come there
to explain its
maybe let me ask this in a particular context. The acting chair of the board was there. You are the one who pronounced this issue of the suspension. The chair of the board, obviously, you apologize, so we accepted your apology. Would then imagine that she was acting on your behalf. So the two of you can assist us here. Because this borders on whether we must continue to listen to you tonight, or we must agree that you must go home and pronounce on you. Because if you can come and lie to us literally, and it's the DM who must then... we don't do that, Kwamba, please. And you have the audacity to come, even want to sweep issues under the floor to the extent that you want the DM to be the one intervening. It speaks to your failure in terms of fiduciary duties. Now tell me here, according to your understanding, when does a suspension take effect to a person?
Chair, thank you so much. You are correct. We had a board meeting. It was on the 2nd of June. And we had a whole lot of legal advice that followed specifically on that day. One of the decisions that were taken was the suspension of the CIO, and mainly because we had full evidence of why we needed to suspend him. If I can mention that.
Deputy Chair, I don't want you to give background. I think we're enough with your background.
Maybe the answer is the 3rd of June. On the 2nd of June, we made that decision, and essentially, it doesn't lie within the board. In terms of delegation, that matter goes straight to him as the acting CIO to effect, the acting CEO to effect the decision. So even if we've made the decision, the delegation to implement does not lie with the board. It lies with the acting CEO.
So you said with us, told us in confidence, and if we were to go to the public, said that the CIO is suspended, when actually he is not. Is it he or she?
It's a he. It's a he.
When he is not suspended.
Chair, the board made the decision and communicated that decision to the acting CEO. Please understand that the board cannot effect it. It needs to give it back to the acting CEO. And I mean, on the day when we made that, we made him aware of that. So we just can't sign his letter. Delegation lies with him.
Can you answer me here, ma'am?
Yes.
When you came before us,
we had already communicated that.
Can I ask you, can you stop interfering with me when I ask you questions? You are going to have to be respectful here. We are not playing here. When you came before us that you have suspended the CIO, did you have the copy of the letter of suspension?
Chair, I must just verify that. Yes, I do know that we had already given him
I'm saying, did you have the copy of suspension from the CEO? The acting CEO suspending the CIO.
The copy of the letter was issued after we've had the resolution. That letter was also given him. It was forwarded to him so that he could sign. So that letter was available.
I'm saying, did you have a signed copy that Donald Slumlela is suspended?
I can't sign it. It must be signed by him.
Who says you must sign the letter? Do you listen to what I'm asking? I'm asking you. Did you have the copy signed by the delegated authority in this regard?
Okay. No.
Can you not disrupt when I ask, ma'am? Okay. Can you switch that mic? Can you learn to be respectful, please? I'm asking you. You are sitting in a committee of parliament, in a meeting that is viewed by the people of South Africa. You tell the people of South Africa that you, as the deputy chair of the board, acting obviously on behalf of the chair and your board, you are communicating to us that you have suspended the CIO. When you do not have a proof that that decision has been effected, what is your take on that?
Chair, I take it that the signed letter, I didn't have it in front of me. That is correct.
So you would agree that you misled us?
Chair, if it's seen as a mislead, I want to apologize. That was not the intent.
Seen by who? Do you agree that
Chair,
you misled us?
I want to apologize.
Do you agree that you misled us?
Chair, let me say to you, I didn't necessarily see it in that way, but what is proof? The proof of the meeting is that we didn't have the signed letter at the time when we informed you.
Do you agree that you misled the Committee of Parliament by telling them that you have suspended someone who has not even received that particular letter?
Okay. Chair, I accept.
Okay.
Did you say I accept? It was not intentional, because I couldn't act on it myself. So I want to say I accept, but it was not intentional.
Suspension letter.
I signed it yesterday.
Oh. Is your matter, Honorable Kobisi? You want to say something?
Chair, I think I'm...
No. You are still coming. You have your set. You are coming.
Chair, I think we are witnessing in real time a pattern of the board of doing things a day before we come to the committee, things that have high legal implications. They have misled the board, they misled Scopa, and now every other slide on that presentation says the matter is under sub judice, because they were unable to tell us the truth. In their back and forth, they say Mr. Letsoalo was insubordinate. He refused, point blank.
No, let's not discuss. I think you are getting to the discussion now. Let me ask this last question so that to proceed with your questions. Colleagues, you still have your own time. Honorable God. What is your intention about the acting CEO? Because that is an act of insubordination. Did you reflect on that particular matter?
Chair, from my side, I only had yesterday when we were at the DM's office that he only signed the letter yesterday. So that's really what we sort of got to know. I didn't know that he had not signed up to then. So that's just my honest answer. I only knew yesterday. I thought he had already signed it.
Did you reflect on that matter yesterday when you were with DM, when you learned?
Yeah.
Between yesterday and now, what is the decision you have taken about that particular act which resulted in you misleading a competent committee of parliament?
Chair, I will say we have to take it back to board. I can't make a decision myself. The board was there.
The question is, did you as a board, because you got that information yesterday as in the meeting of the board and probably once again by the intervention of the DM, by the time you get that information, did you reflect about that particular matter, about the conduct of the acting CEO?
Chair, I think we each reflected, but we have not met as a board to make a decision. I think we did reflect, but we do need to meet as a board and make a pronouncement on that conduct.
Well, guys, as you have already heard, I don't know what you make of this. I already made up my own conclusions. I think the Hawks need to get involved. People need to be criminally held accountable, and thorough investigation must be conducted so that Mr. Letsoalo is cleared of this potential danger that he's in, number one. Also, the irregularities regarding his suspension and the person that is acting in his place. How did you get there? Who put you there? For what reasons? There are questions that need to be asked and answered as far as I'm concerned. Other than that, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.